Hello viewers, it's Super GT here. Now welcome back to GT Sport. Doing a couple of Group 3 races around Autodrome Maggiore or Lago Maggiore. That was my poor attempt at Italian. Now this is basically going to be filed as abuse. Check this out, coming down here, get shoved wide into the barriers. Welcome to Group 3, mate. So that was a bit of attempted murder. And here comes the race. So my qualifying was pretty much awful, as you can see, because I'm starting in 14th out of 14. Now we've got 4 laps to try and do anything about it. And we're at the back of the pack, so plenty of people to try and overtake. And we're driving the Hyundai. So this is a Group 3 race. I kind of like the Group 3 and 4 races. They seem to be the nicest blend of speed and control. Or a lack of control in some people's cases. Quite often my case, you'll see that I'm not always totally in control of my car, but we're going to do our best and just try to hang on to the back of the pack really, because after not doing much qualifying I'm kind of lost, so really just trying to find my feet in this race. Luckily there are plenty of cones laying around on the side of the track, and it does help quite a lot with turning in points, braking points and apexes. That's actually a very good feature I find in this game. They have that. So on the right hand side, typically, or on the outside, sorry, you see 2 cones next to each other. That's normally a braking point, and then you've got a couple of other cones for apexes. There's one gets smashed over to the other side of the track. So that is actually very useful in learning a track. Now the Ferrari here is going very slow. Obviously had a bit of an incident on the exit of that mega banked curve. So that's 13th place. So we've gained 1. Now coming through a very fast sequence here. So a fast left-right chicane into a right-left-right coming up. Now side by side with the GTR, and I just about turned in a tiny bit too late. And I'm going to get a 10-second penalty. Oh god. Sometimes these penalties, they're very good. Sometimes they're very good. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't take everything into account. You see the guy just pushing me wide. But okay, we're back down into 14th. So we're going to have to do all the work again. Not that we did too much work, but we got it all to do. The leaders are coming up to the final couple of corners already. So it's going to be a long shot at getting those positions. But that guy's just going to drive himself off. And that's going to be 13th place once again. So that was quite an easy pass. Now coming into the last couple of corners, very tricky to get these on right. I go very deep, as the Ferrari does as well, driving himself straight off the track. And I'm going to gain a 12th position. So 2 positions gained on lap number 1. Could be worse, I guess. So coming down the hill in the fast left-right chicane here. This corner here, very nice to get it right. And then this corner with the most insane banking in the world. Absolutely love this corner. On the outside of the VW, getting the job done on the brakes. Hitting the apex nicely, and we are through to 11th. Now at the end of the lap, up behind I believe the Citroen. Yes, that is a Citroen, I think. Looking for the switch back. The VW comes out of nowhere, and I try to just about avoid him, and in doing so I kind of lose a lot of momentum. He's actually going to do the move on the outside into the final turn. So the Irishman there going up into 11th place. I'm back in 12th, so I haven't actually gained any positions on that lap. The VW actually they're now going up the inside with a strong move. And I'm going to go for a strong move on the exit with a bit of contact on the way through. So reclaiming 11th beyond the Citroen, trying to chase down the Irishman in the VW. So there's a rather large gap actually developing in front of us. So we've been fighting way too much. A bit of a push on the exit there. I'm going to tuck back in behind. This chicane here is kind of single file. You don't really want to go passing through here if you can help it. So very good run through here. He's going to move over to the right hand side, is he? Yes, he is. There it is. I'm going to look up the inside. The move is done a little bit too deep though. Is he going to? Yes, he is. He's going to cut me back on the exit. So getting past, but he did the best he could to come back and overtake me. Now the fast sweeping chicane section here, this is really good to get it right. Once you get this section right, it really does go very nicely. So the VW taking an awful line through there. I'm looking around the outside. Is it quite going to happen? Not quite. I'm going to run out of road, and then he's going to reclaim the position. The Citroen behind me just struggling to keep up. So it looks like we can kind of pull away hopefully from him. So the VW then taking a very wide line, and that's going to be me back up into 10th place. Hopefully from here though we try to reel in the guy in 9th. So this is the end of lap number 2, so the end of lap number 3 now as we cross the line to start the final lap. So gaining 1 position there from one guy who had some sort of incident, not sure what happened to him, ghosted out, and we gain another position up into 9th. So I mean 9th isn't amazing, but it is 5 better than where we started, so we can't complain too much. The Viper here, going to move over to the right hand side, that just opens up the inside. We can go for that lunge. The camber of that corner really helps you round, and I've done the job very nicely. So the pack up ahead, not too far ahead, so there is a chance, also it's not a pack, it's just one guy, but there is a chance if he makes a mistake and win with a shout, the Viper's going to pull out, go to the inside. So as we turn in here, we're going to have to just about give him a car whip as we do, and then eventually he just has to back out. He hasn't got the line, so I'm going to keep 8th place. Now through the chicane section, the guy in 7th did make a very big error, so we are actually, let's say, within 2 seconds of him here as we come down towards this long left-hander. So looking for the two cones on the left-hand side, there they are, going out wide and coming back for the late apex on that corner. Now at the end, you see here, didn't overtake him, but I was very close to him as we crossed the line. So in 8th as we crossed the line, but it actually turned into 7th once that guy actually got a penalty. So he had a 2-second penalty, that guy just ahead of us there. So we're going to go up into 7th. That is not too bad. We're in the top half. That's the top half finish from 14th, from dead last on the grid. So we're going to go again and see if we can do any better. Now the start was pretty much awful. I had a slight disadvantage there because I had to start on the corner. So as I was turning, my traction control obviously was only on, well not obviously, but it was only on setting number 1, so sliding too much, didn't have quite the control I would have liked. And I'm just going to go down 2 positions already. That is an absolute disastrous start. Not really what I wanted at all. But 8th position. Okay, we've seen in the previous race, you can go from 14th to 7th. So it's definitely possible that we can get a good result here. So we're going to get overtaken by the GTR. The German just going to slot in ahead. So down into 9th. Lost 3 positions at the start of this race. That is absolutely awful. Really not good start at all. Sometimes that happens in racing though, sometimes you're just not going to make the best start all the time. So we're going to look up the inside here. Now the GTR ahead, the blue one's just going to come flying across the right hand side to take the racing line. As I was up the inside of the GTR, he wanted to pass the other GTR. It all got a very bit messy. Luckily none of us ended up spinning and dying, so we're all still alive, still in the race. So 8th position still, as we then come into the fast sweeping chicane. Absolutely beautiful to take this corner. When you get it right, there it is, hooking it up nicely. The GTR, actually we made contact, almost spun him out if anything. Just pushed him maybe a little bit further on than they would have wanted, but he's kind of carried on driving quite badly there through the chicane. He should have backed out maybe through the second apex, and then he actually has to pay for it on the final corner of that sequence. So going very wide, I'm up into 7th place. Now coming up behind a Citroen, I think, I mean I don't know for sure, as in Forza I often get the car names wrong, so probably got this wrong again. Now he's just going to get that corner completely wrong, just went in way too early. It's very easy actually to go into some of these corners very early, but you do have to be very patient on turning, just kind of wait for the absolute optimum time to turn in. So many people just turning in way too early, and he was a classic example of that exact thing. So I'm back up into 6th place. That's where I started the race. As you can see, the pack up ahead is fairly close. They're not too far away, and they're fairly close to one another. Now I'm just going to run slightly over the white line there. And as I come around here, I'm going to get the worst notice ever. Yes, a 15-second slowdown penalty. So that is absolutely going to kill this race for me, I think. So it's not actually 15 seconds. You kind of just have to slow down a bit, and the slower you go, the quicker that timer will go down. You see that it actually went down very quickly as I slowed right down. So, wow, that completely killed my momentum in this race that I had. I was making steady progress up to the top 5, which would have been a very good result, but at the moment we are now back in 8th. So an absolute yo-yo of a race. Through the final turn, bit of oversteer, well controlled though, and actually getting a run on this other GTR. The German, once again, we are side by side. So that's half of the race done. We move on to lap number 3 or 4 into this first corner, and just trying to turn in quite late. The guy was on my outside there though, so I was just hoping that he would get the memo and also turn in quite late. Don't want to go in too early if we both don't have to. So now it's the Mercedes. The Mercedes is the next target, the one we are trying to catch up with. And then if we can, oh my god, massive slide there. Just about managed to control it. Getting a lot better actually at controlling the oversteer on my first few days of playing this game on the controller. So yes, I am playing this on the controller right now. I was just absolutely all over the place. Anytime I get oversteer, it was just a guaranteed spin, and I just could never recover it. But just about now, just getting into the game a bit more, and I seem to be able to just about recover some of the spins. So good stuff there. Now, okay, coming up towards the final sector through the fast sweepers. Now the Mercedes not taking the best of lines through there. Luckily he doesn't run out wide and get a 15-second penalty though. So coming through, actually there's a guy just ghosted out there. I'm just going to kind of give him a... It's quite frustrating actually. Sometimes you see that I just gave him a bit of a boost from behind, and you suffer for sportsmanship rating if you do that. Now Frenchman on the right hand side spun out. That's been a good couple of corners there, and it kind of shows if you just stay in the race, don't make too many mistakes, then you are going to do well, because many other people will make mistakes. And in a couple of corners there we go 2 positions. Hooked up nicely for that corner. That's one that's very easy to go wide on. Coming into the final couple of corners, this again is another one that's very easy to go wide on. We've got on the brakes nicely there, hooking up with the apex. Mercedes has gone very deep. Possible cutback here on the exit. Not quite going to happen. Just kind of got in the right place to block me off, and then I'm just going to bump draft him, which completely helped him, but then my sportsmanship rating is going to suffer for that. So it's best just to absolutely avoid contact at all costs, even if it really doesn't amount to anything. So for the first corner, we're both through there very nicely, up into 5th position. So it's been a topsy-turvy race. It's been really up and down. At the moment, on the final lap, at the start of the final lap, we find ourselves in quite a good position. Only one better than where we started, but compared to where we have been in the race, not too bad. Now the Mercedes went a little bit too early there. I apex just after the cone and he apex just before. Gives them a poor exit. So I'm up the inside into the fast sweeping chicane, coming down to the most awesome corner in the game. This is like literally 45-degree banking. So we're through there very nicely. 4th position. This is really very good. And the first few guys are not very far ahead. In fact, coming through here, it's going to get very exciting at the end of the race here. So guy just on the left hand side, nice rejoin there, bro. He's just going to completely unsettle my car and just come back up into 3rd place. I lose plenty of momentum on the exit. The Mercedes is going to retake 4th position. Look at this, the first, oh sorry, not the first, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Very close to each other with a back marker thrown in for good measure. In fact, the back marker is now just going to completely annihilate himself, spin out. So I'm back up into 4th place. Is it possible that I can gain even a podium from, well, I mean, from where I was earlier in this race? A podium with a very good result. Now, the Italian just up ahead went for an absolutely savage move. He's going to try and repeat that through the 2nd to last turn as we come up here. The guy in 2nd in the Scirocco, money's own business. The Italian comes weighing in, and he's going to claim 2nd place. Is there an opportunity for a cutback on the Scirocco? Not quite. Contact from the Mercedes behind, and then the Scirocco looking to take the place, and then just give me a brake test on the line, but perhaps he got a penalty. But I actually finished 3rd in the end there. So yes, actually the Scirocco somehow got a penalty. The Italian, with that absolutely disgusting move for the 2nd to last turn, shoving him wide, doesn't get a penalty, and that is kind of a workaround of the penalty system. You can just shove people wide. As long as the contact isn't too big, you can shove people wide and not get a penalty for it. So there is a bit of a weakness in the penalty system, but still I think the racing is still very fun overall in this game, and very much enjoying my experience of it. But that is at the end of this one, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, as always. Of course, subscribe if you're new and would like to see more, and hit the like button if you enjoyed. I hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching. As always, guys, goodbye.